Fair contract now. Fair contract now. Fair contract now. Fair contract now.
Meeting will please come to order. Welcome everybody to our Cinco de Mayo meeting. I'm going to have it very quiet because we do have Mr. Freitas on the telephone here, and a lot of noise will distract and he won't be able to hear. As you know, on board we have 5 present. Mr. Anili is ill, and Mr. Freitas is on business in Santa Barbara. And we have our student representatives. Ryan is here for the last time, and also Alexa. Okay, let's everybody rise for the pledge. Ready? Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And a fair contract now.
I have a report from closed session, placement of non-public school students. Darrell Talkin motion, Ron Womack second, and the board approved the placement of non-public school students 2014-15 number 101, 102, 103 by the following vote of 6-0, 1 absent. The exit exams waivers, Ron Hemberly motion, Darrell Talkin second, and the board approved the placement of California High exit exam waivers for students 2014-15, number 28, 29, 30 by the following vote of 6-0, 1 absent. That concludes our closed session report. We have some great things that are happening at this meeting, and these are recognitions. First of all, I'd like to recognize Michael David Family Foundation. Members of the family are here. I would like for them to come forward. Lodi Unified School Board would like to recognize Michael David Family Foundation for the support they give over many years to the schools and programs in Lodi Unified. And as you know, they're here. I would like for you to introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. I'm David Phillips. My brother Michael and I are the founders of the Michael David Foundation, along with our family members, and I'd like to introduce the rest of the family that's here today. My nieces, Lori Phillips and Melissa Phillips Stroud, my son Connor Phillips, and my wife Corinne Phillips.
Thank you, sir. The Michael David Family Foundation has made substantial monetary donations and has committed many other resources to help academic programs, athletic clubs, and our newly created nonprofit Got Kids Foundation. They have been supportive of our schools over many years. Recent projects include the new track at Lodi High School, supporting Joe Serna Junior Charter School, funding numerous science programs and study trips, and contributing this year to Got Kids Casino Night, which was held last Friday. We are very fortunate to have you as a part of our school district community. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you for all that you have done to help children who attend our schools. Your commitment to the community service is inspirational and very greatly appreciated. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Next recognition, we have the student representatives to the Board of Education. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, we have Lodi, Tokay, McNair, and Bear Creek to represent. First, the people that are here today are Lodi and Tokay, and I have a little presentation to give you from the Board of Education and our district. I want to go recognize, first of all, Alexa. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank Alexa for her time and dedication this year in representing her fellow students at Tokay High School. The board has appreciated her input and participation in providing students' views in many topics discussed this year. Alexa continued with her education at UC Davis with a major in psychology. She will then pursue a career in field psychology or special education. From the professionalism she has exhibited in the capacity of a student representative to the board, we assure that her future will be bright. Alexa, thank you very much. And I know Dr. Washer would like for you to take your card. She already charged me $10 a pop. Okay. Ryan Osminkowski. How about that? Board of Education would like to express their thanks for Ryan for serving as a student representative from Lodi High School this year. The board could depend on Ryan to candidly express his opinion on a variety of topics. We enjoyed the detailed reports on campus happenings. Ryan plans to attend Princeton University in the fall. He has stated that he would like to pursue a profession that he enjoys and makes a positive impact on the lives of people, like he already does. As Ryan has certainly made positive impacts during the year, he has served as a student representative, so I'm assured that he will have no problem pursuing a career path that aids people. Ryan, thank you very much for serving on the board. You can have your name tags with you, okay? Thank you. When you go to Princeton, when you go to UC Davis, put them out there so they know who you are. Yes. Okay. Next presentation is by Mr. McKillican. For 2015-16 Lodi Unified Teacher of the Year.
And I'm going to ask the Director of Personnel, Neil Young, to come up.
President Nava, members of the board, Dr. Washer, it is my privilege to stand before you now as we get an opportunity to celebrate once again the amazing award for Teacher of the Year. Every year, applications are submitted from school sites, and we go through a process whereby teachers and administrators together go into the secret room and they come up with the process, they vote on, and they come up with the selected Lodi Unified School District Teacher of the Year. And then that teacher not only represents our district for the following school year, but as well, their name is submitted to the county. And this year's Teacher of the Year, representing the district for 15-16, is one of 4 finalists for the county. But to tell you more about him, it would be more appropriate for me to invite Bill Atterbury, the principal of Bear Creek High School, to come on up.
President Nava, members of the board, it's my privilege to introduce Joe Nava to you as Bear Creek High School's... President Nava, Joe Sandoval.
Probably both Hispanic.
Yeah. Just remember the beard. Yeah. That's the reason I'm not going to extemporize tonight. I'm going to read something. I got 5 pages written. No, I'm kidding. He's worth it, though. But in my privilege to introduce to you Mr. Joe Sandoval, Bear Creek High School, Lodi Unified. Joe, what is it about what is it that you see in education? What is it that really attracts you to it? And if you had to summarize, and he said he sees it as opening doors of opportunity for children, and everything Joe does is exactly that. Mr. Sandoval has many examples of students with little of any experience who came to him with big dreams to play an instrument, arrange music, or to make music their career. For instance, Mr. Sandoval helped one student who struggled to keep up on drums make sufficient progress throughout his high school career to become part of San Joaquin Delta College's honor band. He continued to encourage the student by providing teaching opportunities for him with Bear Creek High School's band. That young man is now one of the top percussionists at the UOP Conservatory of Music. Another example of Mr. Sandoval's focus is a student who joined the Bear Creek Jazz Ensemble with an interest in jazz but little experience. Under Mr. Sandoval's direction, this young man developed superb improvisational skills and started arranging music. Well, he recently graduated from Berklee's College of Music with a degree in musical therapy and is currently working as a musical therapist. These are just two of many, many examples. Across the span of Mr. Sandoval's career, countless students found their way to the welcoming environment of his band room, and under the patient guidance of Maestro Sandoval, countless students emerged from the experience with a better vision of what his or her life could be. And they're achieving Mr. Sandoval's class because he is the maestro of improvisation and differentiation. Mr. Sandoval challenges his students to excel in their music development, but because he writes all his own arrangements, he can adapt them to each student's current level of development. Not content to resort to programmatic scores that require all performers to be at the same level at the same time, Mr. Sandoval assesses his students' strengths and areas for growth and makes on-the-fly adjustments in composition. No one is excluded from Mr. Sandoval's class. Parents sing his praise because he strives to include everyone, even students whose instruments aren't usually featured in the standard arrangements. That's no problem for Mr. Sandoval's arranging acumen. Mr. Sandoval invests hundreds of hours per year creating arrangements that reflect the current performance skill of his students while providing sufficient challenge for them to improve their musical abilities. Indeed, students are achieving in Mr. Sandoval's class, but he has always worked extremely hard to ensure his lessons include all students. And finally, over the past decade, school districts throughout California had to make some tough budgetary decisions. Many programs, including music and other electives, were severely reduced or cut entirely. Such was the fate of Lodi Unified School District's elementary band program. But Mr. Sandoval refused to allow the budgetary process to close the door of musical opportunity on Bear Creek High School's feeder elementary students. So he voluntarily stepped into the void to become the director of Bruin Elementary Bands from 2009 to the 14-15 school years when those programs began to return. And he did this after teaching his own high school classes all day. For 5 years, Mr. Sandoval's efforts opened the door of opportunity to over 300 elementary band students. Many of them pursued music into high school and beyond. That's success, and it's a typical of the quality that frames everything that Maestro Sandoval does. Finally, Mr. Sandoval, Maestro Sandoval, is fond of appending the following quote to all of his emails. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. Albert Einstein. Joe, I think Albert wanted to be you. I think it was too far off. Anyway, congratulations, Joe. I'm sorry, but this is Joe's parents back here, and they wanted to come to show that all those music lessons throughout his life paid off after all.
Well, President Nava, members of the board, Dr. Bosher, I sincerely thank you for this honor. I know that I did not get here by myself. I am grateful for the love and support of my family, And I'm grateful to have my parents here this evening, Ben and Marie Sandoval. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm grateful to my colleagues at Bear Creek High School for their support and affirmation in voting me Bear Creek High School Teacher of the Year. Otherwise, I would not be standing here tonight. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful to my many friends and colleagues who have walked with me through the challenges and successes of teaching, especially the teachers I work with in trying to find a schedule that best serves our students, or establish academies that focus on career and college opportunities, bring our high school bands together for an annual concert, earn a 6-year accreditation status for BC, and a group that I miss every single Tuesday, the Bruin Elementary Band staff. I'm really grateful to my principal, Mr. Atterbury, and vice principal, Ms. Basinger, for their support of our music program. I'm grateful to the counselors and secretaries, custodians and bus drivers, security and administrators, cafeteria workers, and all the support staff that allow me to focus on teaching. I'm grateful to the band parents who have worked selflessly over the years to raise money, fit and alter uniforms, transport students, barbecue hot dogs, tow the equipment trailer, ride the school bus, and 1,000 other details that keep a band program going. Most importantly, I'm grateful to my students, and there's a few of them here tonight, and I appreciate you being here tonight. I appreciate my students who continually challenge me to be a better teacher. But I also want to acknowledge that I am honored to stand here tonight representative of the countless teachers for whom teaching is more than just a job. It's a lifestyle. You know who they are. Their cars are in the parking lot long before school starts, and they're still there late in the afternoon and evening. Sometimes you see those same cars in the parking lot on the weekend. They are mentors and tutors and coaches and advisors. They spend their weekends taking students to competitions and meets and festivals and fundraisers. They spend their breaks taking students on college visitations and to tournaments and extra practices or rehearsals. They spend their summers attending conferences, workshops, classes, and planning meetings. They serve on many committees but still find time to help out that new student who just moved to our community. They are the ones the students come to when they need a mentor or a letter of recommendation or a reference. They invest their hard-earned money in binders and paper, pencils, books, music, manipulatives, healthy snacks, enrichment materials, and that never-ending box of tissue. They are grading papers while they watch their own children at a game, or at a dance lesson, or at a swim meet. They are grading papers and writing lesson plans while their family relaxes in front of the TV together. They are constantly searching for ways to make their teaching cutting edge and state-of-the-art. I also want to acknowledge the significance that I, as a music teacher, a member of the Visual and Performing Arts staff, stand here as an affirmation of the importance of visual and performing arts education. The arts are a significant and profound measure of our culture. For far too long, we have justified arts education in terms of how it facilitates learning core subjects, how it increases test scores, how it increases IQ. Yet, it is the arts that we consider when we look at a culture to evaluate its sophistication. It is an ultimate measure of the development of society. And I will say it again, as Albert Einstein said, if I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music, I live my daydreams in music, I see my life in terms of music. But most importantly, the Teacher of the Year Award is about the value we place on our children and our hopes and dreams for their future. And I thank you for the honor of representing our commitment to our children. Thank you.
Congratulations, Joe. I'm so happy to see your parents. My gosh, it's such a great tribute to you and, of course, to them for you being the Teacher of the Year. I saw your May calendar. My gosh, do you have any time for anything else? It's a busy month for you, and I will attend some of those myself, okay? Thanks again, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Going on with our presentations, we have Science Olympiad recognitions, Ms. Pennington and Ms. Verica.
Good evening, President Nava and members of the board. Ms. Verica and I are always pleased to arrive at this period of time in the school year where we are able to recognize some extraordinary effort on the part of our students at the elementary, middle, and high school level. So with that, we're going to begin with our winning Science Olympiad elementary teams. These teams, we had the first and second place winners in the county for elementary. Lodi always does a great job. And so we want to first begin with Vinewood School's white team. Mr. Tanaka, their principal, is here. He's going to read off the names on the certificates. I'd like to invite Mr. Nava or another board member, if you'd like to choose someone, to come help us give out the certificates. And with that, if Mr. Tanaka would come up, and also if all of the students from the Vinewood White team would come and stand up here in the front and face the audience. Come on, I'll show you where to go. All right. Do we have any of their coaches here? Because if they're here, if they would come and stand with them. Boys and girls, Mr. Tanaka is going to read your name and you're going to be presented with a certificate. We are so proud of your efforts and you just represent our whole school district so beautifully. So with that, Mr. Tanaka.
Thank you. So we'll start off with Mara Ambritz. Jamie Chop. Katie Ching. Phoebe Dupa. Helen Earsman. Henrietta Ellison. Annalyn Grant, Mariko Hashimoto, Annika Haship, Anna Haship, Guy Hine, Julia Hissenrath, Noella Holtenthaler, Fitzwell Medina, Samuel Myers, Macy Munson, Isabella Nguyen, and finally Marion Villalamos.
Congratulations again, boys and girls, and we know that you're here with your parents. So moms and dads of these fabulous students, would you wave so we can recognize you, because they couldn't do this without you. If you all can either scoot back over here or even go sit down in front, we have another group we're going to recognize, so they can come up, and congratulations again. May I invite Mrs. Pat White, who is the principal at Elkhorn School, to come up and join me. Our Elkhorn Gold team were the second place winners for the County Elementary Science Olympiad. So any of the students on that team, they could come up, just like their colleagues from Vinewood did, and if they'll come assemble here at the front. If any of their coaches are here, we invite them to come as well. And Mrs. White will read their names. And
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Nava is here.
Right here.
Thank you, and we are missing a few because there's a big band concert tonight happening at the same time, so we are short just a few students, but we're really excited for those that could be here tonight. It was a hard decision, I know. Alex Bussey. Sabrina Chang. You know, I'm just thinking, your hands are going to get really tired. If you want to wait till we are all done and we'll go through a little Christmas, you would like that, right? They're going, yes, thank you very much. All right, Isabella Conradi, I don't think is here either. She's at the band concert. And I know Lindsay's at the band concert. So Lillian Corson, she's okay. And Owen Hardy, he's at the band. I know a lot of them are there. Raza? There's Raza. Thank you. Amy Hung. Zachary Larson. Right here. And then I know she's at the band concert. Anna Matthews. Sorry. Jonathan Ewan. Messina is not here either. Sorry. Mark Hoshida. He's not here. Katie Quatch. Here's Katie. Hope Wu. And Yan Yi.
Let's quick picture, quick moment. Now you can clap while we do a picture. How's that?
Congratulations, and I'm sure your moms and dads are here, so if you would wave to us, and again, we thank you for your support of your students. Don't leave, Mrs. White, you have more to do. We're now going to move on to the middle school recognitions. We, again, did a great job at the county event, and our two teams from Elkhorn took second and third place. We let another district have first place. We like to do that once in a while. But first, we will ask the Elkhorn Middle School blue team to come up to be recognized, please. Just the blue team.
All right, well, let's start with Ebnik. Is Ebnik here? Oh, Abik, I'm sorry. Abik, come on up, honey. And Mia Cicchini. Abby Palmquist. Ruby Dillon. Lizzie McFarland. And Harrison Kurjan is not here, so Nicole Iterian. That's Nicole, okay. Dan, not sure if the dance, okay. Violin, huh? Angela Estrada. Okay. Michaela Favolaro. Ravni Rajasanzi. And Caroline Greenlee, I don't think is here. Is Noah Smith in here? Okay. Oh. And then Jasmine Gill. There's another Kodak moment.
While they're having their Kodak moment, if the parents of these students would raise their hand, we again honor you for the support you give your And now, if Elkhorn's gold team, the county third place winners, would come up, we would like to recognize them as well.
And while they come up, we have so many amazing coaches I know in this room for all schools, and everybody has said it so eloquently, but we really appreciate all the time and effort of our coaches, and of course, it's the students too that put in so much time and effort, and there are so many really great programs happening in the district, and we really thank you for setting aside time to recognize all the great things that are happening. Alex Bussey. Oh, and Ken Estrino. Gina Goodman. You gotta stay up there. Oh, we need your picture too. Josue, did Josue make it? Okay. Zach Itarian. Oh goodness. Kim Lee. There's and Nathan Lee. And Lily Lim. Right here. Amrit. There we go. The end, I didn't see the end, did I? Okay. TJ. Okay. Shreyas. No Shreyas. Okay. Malia. I saw Malia Shazad. And Jasmine Shergill. And Isabel. One last Kodak moment.
Okay, thank you again to the parents and grandparents of these students. Congratulations to all, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Bedeke and we'll honor the high school. Thank you.
All of you middle school people need to pay attention to the fact that Tokay is the #1 team for Science Olympiad, so you need to go to Tokay because that is our science school. Mr. Sandstrom, would you like to come up? Mr. Atterbury and Mr. Lofstead are here, so the challenge is on.
Good evening, members of the board. No, Ms. Bedeke wasn't joking, by the way. Hi, Mr. Lobster. How you doing? Look at the purple in the room, even up here. We know where it's at. Mr. Nava, members of our board, I appreciate it. One of the recognitions we do have this evening, and I apologize, there's a lot going on this time at the high school between AP exams, band concerts, powder puff. Oh, we don't want to mention powder puff. Never mind. Congratulations, Mr. Lobster. We have a lot going on this evening with our band concert and other things as well. A lot of our students are attending that or studying for their AP exam. But Miss Julie Fukunaga, one of our outstanding students, just like to mention her and apologize she couldn't be here. But besides winning the county science fair, she then went to the Sacramento regional area, which is basically all Northern California, took first place in that, brought home, I think, 7 different either scholarships or awards along with that. And then along with her sister and a couple other teammates, including, I think, Miss Dillon, I think Simran's here, maybe, yes. Who else is on that group? You, the Fukunagas, and who else? And Teresa Mall. They went and won the YES Youth Energy Summit and brought home first place with that and about $4,400 along with that. So to those kids, and especially to Miss Julie Fukunaga, it's an outstanding congratulatory job on her part, and apologies that she couldn't be here this evening. Thank you. And our Science Olympiad teams did take first place and 5th place. We have our first place here team this evening, so purple folks, come on up. Where's Mr. Oshida? Where's Stan? Come on up. And Mr. Oshida, Sue McFarland, a whole bunch of other parents and stuff have been working with this team all year. Mr. Oshida, no, I get to put you on the spot. You get to come over here and introduce the team and let them know about how much hard work they've done. So I like to give that to you. So say a few words about our fine students and what they've been doing to take first place.
First of all, I'd like to thank the board and for the support, also all the parents, and especially the hard work the students do. You know, you really make us proud, and you guys are much smarter than I am, so congratulations.
Okay, members of our team, a couple I know who aren't here again. Ms. Rachel Boyle and Stephen Boyle. Come on.
Claire Canestrino, not here this evening. Miss Sally Chen, Sophie Connolly, Simran's here, I know. Miss Dillon, come on up, Simran Dillon. Cassandra Fuentes, Jack Goebel. Is Jack the only freshman on the team, by the way? Oh, sorry, Mr. Hashimoto, next name right there, Matt Hashimoto. Mr. I finally decided to go to Harvard, Andrew Moten. Michelle Oshida. Annabelle Rankin. No, thank you. Jacob Smith. Anna Vigueris. And Alyssa Whitbeck. And ladies and gentlemen, our first place, no competition for the other high schools, Tokay High School Science Olympiad purple team.
Nice try, big guy. Nice try. That's flashing. Careful now.
Actually, I was just joking about Tokay being the most outstanding high school. Tonight we're recognizing teams, the Skills USA teams from Bear Creek and Lodi High, and next week we'll have an outstanding choir from McNair, so all of our schools do excellent work. If we could have Mr. Lofstead come up and introduce his Skills USA team.
Thank you all. Ms. Fedek is everything but wear a purple shirt tonight, I duly noted. Mr. Sandstrom, at the risk of belaboring the point, Lodi High choose the crowd to remain #1 in everything else.
How'd that varsity football game go?
Okay. Every time that we send teams far afield, and a lot of them they have to travel a long ways and have to take care of hotel accommodations and all that kind of stuff. Really, really hectic time for Mr. Guthrie and all the people involved in going to these competitions. We're always amazed when they come back with the bling they bring back with them. The ribbons, the medals, it's truly amazing. And so it's a privilege for me to be able to introduce our BICA team and a lot of winners. So Mr. Guthrie, if you're coming up and bring the kids up. All you got to do is come by Mr. Guthrie's room and look at the products that they have around the room hanging on the wall, and you're just amazed at what these talented students can do. So, again, we're real proud of them. So the first one up would be David Higuera. Out here. Chris Diekman. Okay, Benjamin Robinson. All right, Cameron Owens. Dominic Thiessen. Jacob Ramirez. And Elise Evans. Alize Evans. Okay, thank you. Fantastic job, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next we have Bear Creek Skills USA, Mr. Atterbury. I do want to mention again that Bear Creek just got a 6-year WASC, first one in a long time. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Vetica. I'll take it under advisement to excuse your earlier faux pas. I can't let it go without being stated that as former principal of the career and technical education arm of Lodi Unified, that what we've seen here so far really epitomizes what employers are looking for, hiring authorities, and what is embedded into Common Core. Both with our Science Olympiad and with Skills USA, they're requiring students to think critically, solve problems, work collaboratively, and to create meaning. And that's what education is all about, and that's what our employers are looking for, and that's what these ladies and gentlemen have been doing. So, and for that reason, we're very proud of our awardees. And yes, there's a lot of work that goes, all the traffic that goes in. We're all scrambling to find the money to send them back to the Midwest for the finals, but it's worthwhile. It's definitely worthwhile. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Crane. I'll let him, I don't know, you want to identify all these people? Quick, Al. Shelby's not here. Oh, Shelby's. Why don't you, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Alvin, members of the board, for continuing to support career and tech ed and understanding the importance that it plays in the development of the brain and the human being, et cetera, and accommodating a whole bunch of different kinds of learners that don't really accommodate with paper. So anyway, thank you for that. We had a little bit smaller crowd this year than we did last year. Last year was a really banner year. We were very successful, and won a number of gold, silver, and bronze at regions, and we took 9 students to state, and we had 3 medalists. Shelby Bartlett, last year's double gold medalist at state. She had a soccer tournament tonight, complicated big tournaments, so she couldn't attend. She got a silver in tech design drafting, did very well. The 2 gentlemen here tonight, we'll start out with Justin. Justin is a 2-year Beta Academy attendee. Last year he was in architecture, this year is in the intro drafting, and he got a bronze at regions and a silver at state in intro drafting B. Justin will be attending Whittier College in a baseball scholarship and taking up aerospace technology. Corey is a 4-year participant in Schools USA. He's a multiple medal winner in regions, 3-time medal winner at state, where he took a gold in tech design as a sophomore, silver as a junior, and this year I can go away good because he accomplished something that I thought I'd never do, and that was take down Lodi High. I figured we'd never do it. And that's in the highest competition, tech drafting. And Corey got a gold medal, and will be attending Louisville the Nationals and representing California. So way to go. Corey will be attending Fresno State and mechanical engineering in the fall. So way to go.
That's all our recognitions for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vetica. Congratulations to all the winners. I also want to congratulate the teachers that are responsible. My gosh, you do a lot of hard work there to get these students where they are. Thanks again.
There's seats over here. There's seats over here. Seats up front. Lots of seats. Come sit.
We'll continue on with our agenda. We have Superintendent Washer's report.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Nava, members of the board. Well, it's really hard to follow all that, so I'm going to be brief and just thank you for supporting Casino Night, the Got Kids main fundraiser of the year that happened last Friday evening. Thank everyone for their support and attendance. It was the best turnout yet. The rooms, both rooms were packed, and I think everybody had a great time working on the numbers to let you know how much was brought in that will go straight to the classrooms for projects and efforts that you fund through the mini grant process. So thank you for that. I want to acknowledge Lynn Abey for chairing that event, doing an absolutely incredible job. Thank you. I want to acknowledge Valerie McPhee and Kim Collier for making it happen also. Without those three ladies, it wouldn't have happened. So thank you very much to them for putting on. And again, thank you to our student reps and congratulations to them. We've greatly enjoyed getting to know you and learning from you as well and hearing your voice as the student reps, and we wish you well as you move on with your journey in life, and just have to say to Alexa, go Aggies.
Thank you, Dr. Washer. We'll continue on with the agenda. We have action items, consent agenda A, routine business. Any board members want to pull any items from consent agenda A? Anybody from the audience would like to pull any? All right. Mr. Heberly.
I make a motion we approve consent agenda A. Second.
Been motion by Mr. Heberly, second by Mr. Talkin to approve consent agenda A, routine business. Student vote? Okay. Call for the board vote.
Aye.
Okay. Vote is 6-0, 1 absent. Continue on with the agenda. I will have a consent agenda B, student discipline cases. Mr. Womack.
I move that we approve the consent agenda B.
And moved by Mr. Womack, second by Mr. Heberly, that we approve consent agenda B, student discipline cases. No student vote on this one, so I call for the board vote.
Aye.
Thank you, Ron. Vote 6-0, 1 absent. Personnel matters.
That's not what it said.
Mr. Freitas is voting by
voice vote.
Oh, so
But
it's
it's not
recorded
showing.
separately?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Personnel matters.
Mr. Nava, I move to approve personnel matters.
Been moved by Mr. Heberly, second by Mr. Womack to approve personnel matters. No student vote on this one. I call for the board vote.
Aye.
Vote is 6-0, 1 absent. Communications. Comments from student representatives. We'll go with Ryan today.
All right. Well, Mr. Nava, members of the board, Dr. Washer. There you go. I've got a couple things to go over today. So first of all is sports at Lodi High School. Baseball's been going really well. They're making it to playoffs because they beat the Tokay High baseball team in one of the end of the season games. So that was the kicker there. Our swimming is going very well. They had their league meet last week, and Robert Watts, one of our juniors at Lodi High, broke the 50-meter swimming record for all of TCAL. So that's for the whole sports league. So that's a really big deal. In track news, we have 3 new record holders. Michael Gonzalez in the pole vault for vaulting 16 feet, which at the time put him first in the state and I believe 8th in the nation. So that's, that was really good.
Is that a record, Ryan?
Yes, that's the new 16 feet for the varsity boys pole vault.
That's long.
Elijah McDowell crushed the long jump record with a long jump of 22 feet, 7¼ inch. That record has stood since 1940. Yeah, and both of these two are only juniors too, so there's more to come. Lodi News Center will report on it, I'm sure, when they break it again. And lastly, Blake Fonda broke the 3,200 record, 3,200 meter record, so a 2-mile race for the non-metric people. That was a time of about, I believe it was a 9:24, 9:25. So he beat the record by about 4 seconds on that. So that was fantastic track news and couldn't have happened without the new track. So thank you for that. A couple other things going on here. So our FFA did very well. They had a competition down at Cal Poly this last weekend with many places above 5th place, which is sort of like the medaling. So a lot of medals coming from Cal Poly. Which was really fantastic. Also, they've been nominated for a National Golden Chapter, which is a really high honor for FFA, so that's fantastic for them. Skills USA, as you all saw a few minutes ago, I don't know if I really need to go over that again, but Alzay Evans, the one that was announced is going to be going to Nationals in the Midwest because he took first at state, so he'll be representing California for that. Next, our drama team is putting on Beauty and the Beast, the Disney version, so the whole musical and everything. I got to watch a preview of it the other day, and it's magical, just like Disney would want. And it's really good. So their performances will be May 7th, 8th, 14th, 15th, and 16th at 6 o'clock. So those are really, really good. Our jazz band did something a little unique last Sunday. They did a jazz social where they just had some live music playing and just some improvisational jazz and everything going on, which is a lot of fun. There's some videos going around of it. And these are good videos, really good high school videos going around. That was fantastic. Really, really fun to watch. Next, we have in student government world, we have the Powder Puff game, which I came from, but I don't know how it ended. I believe. We don't know. Do we know?
No,
we don't know. We don't actually know, but we will try to get you that information for it. It's the Lodi Tokay girls football, as they do it. It's kind of like a little tradition that's going on. So that's really fun. I think Lodi won. We have our going away rally, which will be that last week of, or the week before the last week of May, the 20, whatever that is, something in the teens. And that'll be, it'll be fantastic. We have our spirit days, our rally. It's just kind of a nice, we do a couple ceremonial things where we move our juniors for our senior section and everything. It's just all that symbolic stuff that we really like. So that's fantastic with that. We had our prom last weekend at Hudgens Street Square with the Black Tie Affair theme. Things went beautifully there. The junior class did a fantastic job hosting it. In all of the dances that I've been to through high school, that was by far the best one, most elegant, and it was just a fantastic dance to be a part of. Our student government elections went on as well, and I will be replaced by a very noble man who will do a fantastic job. His name is Dominic Hummel. I'm very excited. I think you guys will be very excited to get to know him. He's a fantastic man. And he will be the ASB president next year for Lodi High School. And with all that being said, I guess this is my last report to the board. So I just want to say, thank you to everyone. This is amazingly sweet of all of you to do this. Thank you, Dr. Washington, for this and everything. They even wrote little Lodi on a cookie. It's so amazingly sweet. So thank you. The experience here has just been fantastic. Thank you so much for just every. And just for all the support you've shown for me, just for whether it was when I was looking at schools, even now that I've decided. Thank you for letting me, talk and telling me, informing Mr. Hearn. Thank you so much I can't tell you how much I appreciated those little talks afterwards, where you'd tell me what's going on and everything, just so I could make myself a more informed person. So just thank you for the experience that you've allowed me to have with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Great things are happening. I mean, all these records, you have swim records, you have track records. That's pretty good, because the change of leagues, of course, you got into some good competition, and I think the TCAL is the toughest league compared to the SJAA, and my former high school is a TCAL, but still, I say it's a great competition. And again, thank you for all your informative things that you give us from Lodi High, and good luck to you, and don't stop and see us, okay, one of these days. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, Alexis, you're next on Tokay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nava, Dr. Washer, members of the board. Before I start, I just wanted to say, I'm not sure if anybody from the Elkhorn and Vinewood, the elementary science bowl or science Olympiad members. I'm not sure if anyone's still here, but I just wanted to say that I work at Lodi Kumon Math and Reading Center. So a few of those students are actually my students. So it's really cool to see them doing great things. They're all fantastic kids, and I'm really excited to see the generations, see them grow up. Hopefully they end up at Tokay. So I just wanted to say that congratulations to them. And they're doing great things at such a young age, and that's really, I hope to see them at Tokay. Well, at Tokay, Tokay is going great. We're finishing the year. Our Powder Puff game is tonight. It was very exciting. I was in the game for as long as possible before I had to come. It's pretty aggressive out there, so I'm not sure. I actually don't have the results yet, but oh, you got it?
As my student government advisor just texted me, Lodi won with an 18-6 score.
Okay, well, we have another competitive game coming up at Tokay. We have senior versus staff, so that probably won't be as competitive, but we're really excited. Because this is a volleyball game, so hopefully not as aggressive as football, because it was getting pretty aggressive out there. We had our elections for next year, Friday. We also got a new ASB president, so I will also be replaced. It's very sad. His name's Jose. He's a great guy, so you guys are going to like him. He's really enthusiastic about Tokay and just everything that goes on, so it's going to be great. We got new reps. We got new class presidents, so the juniors and sophomores are so excited to bring new things to the table, so I'm really excited to see where they take Tokay. I have a lot of confidence in them. Our Tokay Science Bowl team, they actually went to DC and competed this Sunday. They just got back last night, just in time for AP tests, so I wish them luck because they're very busy. Our baseball team, the baseball season came to an end. We didn't go down without a fight. We won the first game, so it wasn't a sweep. So softball season also came to an end. Swim and badminton, they're in TCALs right now, so they're competing. Doing pretty well. We have so many upcoming events for seniors, definitely. We have the senior picnic to Santa Cruz. A bunch of our seniors are going to Disneyland. We have graduation practice and then of course graduation. So a lot of seniors are really excited to get out, but we're also going to miss Tokay a lot. And we have prom this weekend, so everyone's really excited about that. It's this Saturday. It's Midsummer's Night Dream, that's the theme. So we're all really excited, and it's really great to end it on, prom's always such a great way to end the year. And I also just wanted to thank you guys for everything you guys have done for me and supporting me for anything I had to say and listening through all my reports and actually being really interested in Tokay, because Tokay actually does mean a lot to me. My older brother went there, I go there, my brother, I have a twin brother, he goes there too. And Tokay is just kind of like, it's just home for us, and I really appreciate that you guys appreciate Tokay as much as I do.
Thank you, Alexis. My God. It's so great as a student to feel comfortable at the school. I hope it happens in every school in Lodi Unified, because it's a key thing for students. When they feel safe in their environment, that is great. Congratulations again. Hopefully that you check that staff, okay? Make sure they have physicals and all that kind of stuff, because we're liable for any injuries. And the work that you did with Alcorn, again, is appreciated very much. Thanks again, and good luck to you at UC Davis.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, we'll continue on with the agenda. I want to make a little ruling here on public comment. Last board meeting, I spent an hour and 20 minutes. Our 20-minute session was an hour longer. We have a 20-minute time period that has been set aside for public address. The board items not listed on the agenda. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes. Today, to give more opportunities to people on these cards, I would like to reduce it to 2 minutes. That way you have enough time to, give you enough time to go ahead and keep us alert on what you're going to talk about. I would like to also call 3 in a row, so I don't have to, after the finish of the first person, we're ready to go for the second one. So the first one is Martha Snyder. Bridget Wilson and Monique Canolibel.
Good evening, Mr. Nava, members of the board, and Dr. Washer. I just wanted to give you an update on the event last Saturday at Christa McAuliffe Middle School on April 25th. We indeed did have 200 people at Christa McAuliffe. If you check out our website, you can see the picture that Mr. Kirby took from the roof. And it was interesting in the course of our lunchtime activities, which included chubby bunnies and having students and parents try to eat a cookie off their forehead. A lot of the parents and educators from around San Joaquin County and definitely in Lodi Unified School District and parents wanted to know why we don't have Discovery Education in each and every school in Lodi Unified, as well as the rest of our school districts that surround us. It was a great day. Discovery Education paid for both the teacher continental breakfast and for the pizza lunch for all 200 people, and again, just great time in the classrooms, and there'll be more pictures going up on our website soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martha, for all the information you gave. Bridget?
I think I'm okay. Good evening, President Neighbour, members of the board, Dr. Washer. My name is Bridget Wilson. I've been a paraeducator in this district for, this is my 29th year, coming up on the 30th year. It's my understanding that Lodi Unified is hiring a coordinator for the improvement of school climate. This may be because of the civil rights issue, but look around, really look around you. Look at your employees, look at the teachers, look at all the classified employees here. Look hard at their faces. You can improve school climate immediately by authorizing the district to negotiate and treat us all fairly and above all with the respect that we all deserve. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd just like to say thank you for having me, President Nava and Superintendent Washer. I'm Monique Bell, and I'm here with I'm the youth coordinator for the first annual Frederick Douglass Essay Contest. This contest is being sponsored by the Frederick Douglass Foundation of California, with our words in the BSU of Delta College. The essay contest is open to all high school students, 9th grade through 12th, and applications are available on Facebook at facebook.com FD Essay Contest. Now, Frederick Douglass espouses the traits and characteristics that all us Americans hold near and dear: endurance, hard work, and true grit. Mr. Douglass was not only an abolitionist, but he was also a great orator. Contest participants are asked to think about the following question. Yes, it's hard out here, but how would Frederick Douglass express his freedom for all? Our honorary chairperson for this event is Stockton's own Wilhelmina Henry, who was the first black school teacher. Each grade level, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th seniors can win up to $500 cash. That is first, second, third place winners. All applicants will win something. Finalists will be allowed to orally recite their essay, and winners will be notified by mail and phone. This event is open to all students in the county, and we invite you to apply. Please check us out on Facebook. And this is going to be an annual event, so you'll see me again next year. We will be hosting the presentation of the winners June 19th. From each grade level, they'll present their winning essay at Delta College in Upper Daniel Hall at San Joaquin Delta College. And this will also mark the celebration of the 100th anniversary of Juneteenth, which is the official date for the Emancipation Proclamation. I thank you for your time, and I hope you all support your teachers this evening.
Next three will be Susie Faith, Nancy Harlow and Sharon Lewis.
Good evening, President Nava, board members, Dr. Washer. I speak to you tonight about a pilot program the district and LPPA are working on behalf of the speech therapists of Lodi Unified. My name is Susie Fate, and I have been a speech pathologist with Lodi Unified for the last 25 years. I'm representing every SLP in the district to tell you that we can no longer meet the needs of our students under the current program, and it will only get worse unless you make proactive decisions to retain and hire Lodi Unified SLPs. You have heard before from SLPs who wanted to come to work for Lodi only to realize the financial sacrifices they would have to make in order to do so. We have lost SLPs to surrounding districts in the past, and this threat is even greater at this moment. Right now, an SLP with 10 years experience will leave Lodi where they probably have a caseload of 60 to 80 students and be hired by a nearby district, make approximately $10,000 more, and have no more than 55 students. We have shared with you before the shortage of SLPs in the state of California. Surrounding districts have proactively put in place measures that ensure that speech services continue at the level prescribed by California Ed Code. The law states that average caseload size is 55. Currently, the average in Lodi is 69, which is why we have filed a grievance that we have requested be moved to arbitration. Several surrounding districts honor caseload caps. They also compensate their SLPs at a level that assures that they attract and retain quality people. Fairfield Unified even offers up to $45,000 in tuition reimbursement to UP graduates. So please be one of those wise, proactive districts. Hopefully by now you have heard the details of our proposal. I urge you to consider all the components of this memorandum of understanding before we spend more time and resources in arbitration. Thank you. Time is up. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Good evening, Mr. Nava and board members. My name is Nancy Harlow, and I am a speech-language pathologist in the Lodi Unified School District. As I share my concerns tonight, I hope you'll remember two very important words when it comes to what speech therapists are asking: attract and retain. In order for the students of our district to receive the services that they are mandated to receive, you must have professionals to provide that service. In order to hire those professionals, you must attract those professionals to the district. So how does that happen? To attract SLPs, you must offer salary and benefits that are comparable to the districts in the surrounding area. To retain, you must stay current in terms of working conditions. In other words, caseloads must be manageable, and we must have the appropriate number of hours and days in order to perform all of our duties. If you think it's too expensive to attract and retain good employees, then let me share with you what it is costing the district to remain unattractive to prospective employees. The district has hired contract SLPs to cover some of our uncovered sites because we cannot attract job candidates. These therapists are paid for 8 hours a day, and according to our interim supervisor, there aren't any contract companies that will allow their SLPs to work only a 7.5-hour day. However, district employees do. The district personnel department has hired more expensive employees to work longer than their own employees. I have a copy of the numbers if you'd like to make the comparison. In order to shorten my time, I'll just pass that out. I know for the district there's always a bottom line to keep costs down. You're willing to pay a contracted employee for 8 hours a day at their cost while you allow district employees to work overloaded caseloads and expect them to do it all in less time. Make us attractive so we can retain quality professionals. If you want to keep costs down, pay our own employees a competitive rate and give us the hours and days we need to meet the demands of our job.
Thank you, Nancy.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Washer. I'm Sharon Lewis, and I'm speaking with you tonight on behalf of school psychologists and our perspective of this shortage of speech-language pathologists. We all work as a team with general ed, special ed teachers, and support staff. When part of our team is not present at the table, it is very difficult to make educational decisions about our special education students. SLPs provide a unique mindset, and they help us figure out issues such as, is it second language acquisition issue or is it a disability? They provide great insight and development of interventions for our autism students who have critical issues with pragmatic or social language and social skills. It is very challenging when we respect the instructional time of students and have to have meetings before and after school, and we're trying to collaborate with them, and I'm getting paid for that last half hour of my work day, but they are not, because they work a 7.5-hour day. Because of our shortage, it is leaving us open to more liability issues in the district, and we are not providing the services that we should for students. So I encourage you to listen to our audience tonight, to put kids first, and to keep in mind the stress level and burnout of your support staff, as well as teachers and classified employees. We thank you for listening to us, and please provide us with a fair contract, and good luck at UC Davis as a former grad student from that place. We wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Next three. Let's make it next four. Lori Kreljev, Elizabeth Gambrell, Merced Romero, and Susan Heberly.
Thank you, Mr. Nava and the board. My name is Lori Kreljev, and I'm one of your speech language pathologists. Last week, I was asked to sign my letter of intent to return. I have not yet signed it. I am here to represent your newer speech language pathologists, those of us with 11 or fewer years on the salary schedule. There are 9 of us who meet that description, and we are the ones you most risk losing in the current climate. In the last 3 years, 7 speech language pathologists have been hired by Lodi Unified. Today, only one of those 7 is working for your district. Why can't Lodi Unified retain speech language pathologists? I hope to help clarify that question. Our neighboring districts offer up to 11 years of credit on the salary schedule placement and higher pay, so the 9 of us who fall within those limits are most able to consider the advantage of such a move. I calculated the disparity for myself, and over the next 6 years, it added up to a staggering $81,704.55. But there is more. This pay disparity has existed since I started with Lodi Unified, since all 9 of us started. So why are we here? We chose to provide speech language services that make a difference, even when it meant a significant salary disparity. What has changed? Over the last year, Lodi Unified's administration has tried to make their problem of attracting and retaining speech language pathologists into our problem of service delivery. We've been told to set aside California Ed Code and special education law, our professional and our personal ethics, and change the way we do our jobs. Offhand suggestions and direct instructions have included taking on caseloads as much as 3 times the number set by California Ed Code, suggesting we increase our group sizes beyond what our professional judgment dictates, or take shortcuts with our assessments. We are coming to you now because this is interfering with our ability to provide speech language services that make a difference. You might tell me that problems exist in all districts, and I might encounter the same situation if I moved to a higher paying district. Perhaps, but if that is so, it would make even more sense to make the best of the situation and provide my family with $81,704.55 more. So how can Lodi Unified retain a speech language pathologist like me, provide me enough colleagues to fully staff our department, and keep caseloads within California Ed Code requirements, and whose professional judgment is respected? To do that, you have to address the pay disparity.
Please allow time for other people. Thank you.
I am Elizabeth Gambrell, Dr. Washer, and members of the board. I'm here to extend an invitation to you to visit any of our libraries, especially Berg Creek High School Library where I work. If you do not mind, I would suggest you visit when we are about getting ready for the break or when school reopens to see how busy the library gets. You can also check the library appointment book to find out how often the library is used. Bear Creek High School Library is the only library in the district with a textbook room across campus. It takes about 7 minutes to walk there, but if I have to transport books, it takes about 10 minutes or more. This is to inform you, I do not have the proper equipment to work with. The carts I work with are old. I have to deal with wheels coming off carts and even bumps, making sure to avoid running over students, and dealing with changes in the weather like rainy and windy days. There have been instances when the sprinklers came on and I got wet as well as the books. Unfortunately, I have injured myself twice and I might not be lucky if it ever happens again. Previously, the textbook room was adjacent to the library. We were informed we will have a golf cart to make it easy transporting materials to and from the library. Unfortunately, this did not materialize. Furthermore, in addition to having to take extra time to go to the textbook room when necessary, my hours have been reduced. I want to know when library assistants working in high schools will be reinstated as full-time employees. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, Dr. Washer, all of our guests and board here. I'm Dr. Merced Romero. I am a 21-year veteran of this district, and at that time I've served as an elementary school teacher and a vice principal. And much of what you're hearing tonight about negotiations and money really is a smaller picture of an overall larger fight, and that is the culture of our district. What is the culture of our district going to be? And what will it represent for all of us who work, no matter where we are, what site we may be, or whether we're in the district office? There are examples of successful school districts, such as Montgomery County in Maryland, who has a graduation rate of 90% among all their students. Districts in Chula Vista, districts in Long Beach, Chicago, Boston, who have all not just found academic improvement across the board, but have sustained an evolution in teacher culture. And they've done this by ridding themselves of an adversarial nature. They treat each other professional across the board, whether you are a district administrator, whether you are a site administrator, whether you're a teacher. Everybody is equal. Everybody is a leader. Everybody has something valuable to say. And unfortunately, most of the districts within the United States, including Lodi, have not been able to have the same success as these districts because we continue to have an adversarial system where it is us versus them. And we forget our priority, which is to serve the academic needs of the children in our community. And so what we have to do is to be able to put ourselves beyond that us versus them mentality, to be able to sit across the board and remember what our one true goal is, not just to say it, but actually live it. What culture do we want to present to teachers who are currently working in Lodi Unified, who perceives themselves as not being treated as professionals, who are just treated as technicians, who are delivering curriculum?
Time's up. Merced, thank you very much.
Good evening. I certainly appreciate those last comments. I want to do a quick little report about National Science Bowl. First of all, this year's theme, Mr. Neely isn't here, but he'd be happy that it was on supercomputing. Also, as we were talking last week about the problem of the 30-day sub, and I kind of mentioned old people, my roommate happened to be a 72-year-old physics teacher, and she said that she had too many students and she couldn't deal with that many students all day, and so they gave her an extra prep period. They solved the problem. By the way, they have 5 physics teachers. Also, the secretary of the Department of Energy came to speak, and he was talking about the Iran nuclear treaty agreement that he was part of, and how he had to continually refer to his panel of specialists back at home. And they talked about the whole culture of learning and how important it was to have people who knew their material. And they also encourage the students there to come and work for the Department of Energy. Before I finish this last little bit, I wanted to say to the students, you have done a fine job, and no one should ever tell you that you can't speak up, ever, because we are supposed to be an open society, and you should keep that true to yourself. And it's not always easy to speak up, and a lot of times people don't want to hear what you have to say, but it's really an important thing, and I wish you both well. Last but not least, by the way, we had to play our first game against Montgomery Blair High School, which you just mentioned about Montgomery County.
Susan,
Science Bowl. Well, I just have to tell you, we have to acknowledge our neighbors 40 miles to the north who won National Science Bowl for the 5th time and set a record. And that's in the state of California. We can still do great things, and they're just 40 minutes away. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. That concludes our comments. Comments from employee group representatives. A 20-minute session.
Wow.
We have 3.
No way.
We have a 12. You have a lot of people here to speak with you this evening.
There's a child that came to speak to you, Mr. Nava.
I think we should.
I think you should.
Board?
I say let him speak.
All right. Ashley or Fidel or
Hi, my name is Ashley Ortega, and I'm in the 6th grade at Fortune Elementary School. We can have plenty of teachers come up here and talk about the present, but I'm here to talk about the future, because I am the future. These teachers have been asking for a fair contract, but you say no. This will and can affect the future of teachers. They will think, who wants to work here when I can go to other districts and get paid more? Now when you lie in bed tonight, I want you to think to yourself and say, that girl was pretty smart for understanding the teachers. You guys have the power to change this. Thank you.
Thank you. Dana Dillon.
Good evening, my name is Dana Dillon. I am a teacher and a member of the Board of Directors of the California Teachers Association. I rise to speak this evening not only on behalf of the CTA members in Lodi, but on behalf of the officers, the Board of Directors, and the more than 300,000 members of the California Teachers Association who stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Lodi. Your teaching and education support professional staff are the heart of your educational community. Day in and day out, they faithfully carry on their work, which benefits each and every student in your district. It is my understanding that the district has substantially more money in reserves than is recommended by the state. Money that can easily be used to recruit the best and the brightest for your students, but more importantly, to retain the amazing staff that you have. And tonight's achievements and recognition are just a small part of what goes on in your district every single day. Settlement that shows them, your students, and your community that you recognize just how vital your teachers are and that you value their dedication to the students of Lodi. It's time to put your teachers and students first and to make Lodi #1 again. Thank you very much for your participation.
And Swahili? Garcia.
Hi, I'm Ansuela Garcia. You get weekly emails from me. I've been a teacher for 25 years for Lodi Unified. I got 17 days left in my 25th year. I want a fair contract because I know we deserve it and we earn it. We're the best program Lodi Unified has. But that's not why I'm speaking. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but there were some things said tonight that made me feel the need. I'm a Bear Creek parent and a president of the Bear Creek Athletic and Education Foundation. I'm shocked, I'm not surprised, but I'm shocked at the lack of respect shown here tonight to some of the high schools stated right here in public. What do you say in private if that's how you discuss them in public? And the bigger question is how does it affect your decision-making process for funds? We fight the tide of public opinion all the time at Bear Creek High School. And now I realize that the biggest concern may be from the people within our own district. How can we provide what is best for our students when our house is so clearly divided? I sent you an email 2 or 3 weeks ago of the hardest working teacher that I know, maybe other than Joe Sandoval at Bear Creek, and that's Mike Heberly. That's his mom, and that's his dad. And people like Mike, and people like Joe, and people like me, and people like Cunningham, and people like Taylor, and people like Hanston, and all those people back there, we deserve more, and the schools represent, we deserve respect here, and in the paper, and every day of the week. Thank you.
We have comments from employee group representatives.
President Nava, members of the board, Dr. Washer, and my union brothers and sisters, good evening. It's National Teacher Appreciation Week. And today is National Day of the Teacher. Today is an opportunity to recognize the contributions that teachers make day in and day out. We are so much more than instructors. We are character builders, cheerleaders for our students' successes, as you've seen tonight. We are consolers and wipers of tears. We are conflict resolvers and problem solvers. We are innovators and volunteers, and sometimes, unfortunately, we're also social workers. And tragically, teachers are even sometimes human shields, giving their lives to protect our students as the brave souls at Sandy Hook did. And in Lodi Unified, we are underappreciated. We feel unimportant, and we feel disrespected. And it occurs to me that there's such a strange dichotomy at work in this community. This district, and you, our Board of Trustees, have stated that there's no money for employees beyond what the district has put forth in its written offers at the bargaining table. For teachers, those offers total approximately $4 million over 2 years in ongoing money. And yet the district's revenues for the same period of time are going to increase over $40 million. The Stockton Record reported this morning that the district cannot afford to pay employees what they deserve, only what it can afford. Yet the math doesn't make sense. LUSD has told us at the table that teachers account for 63% of the operating budget of this district. Yet your offer at the table reflects less than 10% of what district revenue increases will be. And so we ask ourselves, why are we worth so little? I walked around casino night, fundraiser for Got Kids. It was a beautiful evening. Congratulations to everybody. And I had a really enjoyable time. But yet I noticed all of the silent auction prizes that had been donated by the employees at the various school sites. Many of these items were paid for with donations from employees, as well as employee groups. I know our group donated, and I'm sure CSEA and other groups did as well. I have to wonder, though, whether such an event would be successful without the participation, donation, and involvement of your Lodi Unified School District union members. Employees should not need a special day or week to feel appreciated or respected. Yet here in Lodi, that is what it's boiling down to. We follow the board's actions, we draw our own conclusions. We have seen employees get promotions, which come with significant pay increases. We see contracts have been renegotiated in the past year, which come with salary increases. And we watch as new administrative positions are being added, such as the recently posted coordinator for positive school climate. How can there be a positive school climate when this district's employees' morale is so low? The time to act is now, and if not now, then when? The state is projecting significant revenue increases, which translates into increased funding for K-14 education. The longer this district waits to provide employees with a fair contract, the lower morale drops, and the greater the feelings of animosity. We are now just 17 days from the end of the school year, and we cannot afford to have this bargaining impasse drag out like it did as it did with our neighbors in Stockton. It's not in this district's interest, it's not in the best interest of our community, and it's certainly not in the interest of our students. And I can tell you, it is not in the interest of our employees. Yet I do have to tell you that we are resolute in our determination to obtain a fair contract. Is it really your intent to drag these negotiations out over the summer and into the next school year? Students in Lodi Unified deserve the highest caliber educational services. They cannot receive those services when Lodi Unified cannot attract and retain the best educators and support personnel. This district is not geographically compatible with our neighboring districts. Return to the bargaining table with a fair and competitive offer that values employees. The decision is yours, and we urge you to make students and employees your top priority. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board and Dr. Washer. I'm Joni Court, president of LPPA and a program specialist in Lodi Unified School District. I've worked under contract here for, I think, 22 years, and many more as a substitute teacher, and many more as a volunteer, and as a high school ROP student. So I got to thank you and our wonderful district for opportunities that helped me become a school psychologist and program specialist. I also thank you for your time tonight. I'd like to discuss negotiations, and particularly the SLP Memorandum of Understanding we're working on from a program specialist point of view. Our responsibility is sort of the liaison and communicator and facilitator of pulling together special education programs for students. So, of course, we've spoken about the competitive piece of this, that we want the SLP position to be attractive. That is why the additional days and the additional 30 minutes per day are important in the MOU. Also, the components of compliance have really increased rather dramatically over the past 8 to 10 years, and they dictate quite a bit more time. The proportion of very difficult, very complex cases involving medical needs and lots of doctors and agencies has increased rather dramatically, in my opinion. That may be because I spent hours today with 2 attorneys in a meeting, but it is a huge part of what SLPs help with in ways I cannot even express to you. So they need that time to collaborate with their colleagues when we're here till 4. It is a terrible feeling when I call them. Sometimes their number's at 5 and they pick up the phone, and that happens quite frequently. I'd like you to know that. Also, after students leave at the end of the year or at the end of the day, it's prime time
to be talking with agencies, physicians, each other. So my final plea is just if you please will consider separating the 3 agreements, MOUs we're working on, one related to medical, one related to the benefits, and the one related to the SLPs. I think that would be dramatic for climate and for our students. And I thank you again.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Nava, members of the board, and Superintendent Washer. I'm Deborah Ladwood, President of the CSEA chapter here again to speak with you about what's going on with us. I want to start with the LCAP study session that you had last week. I really enjoyed being there. It was apparent that the board was looking forward to having some time to work together in a transparent manner. For that, I really was grateful. I enjoyed watching the discussions and listening to your ideas about priorities for the district, but some of your discussions raised a few questions for me. During the presentation, there was an amount listed for the budget that was called base operating expenses. I can only assume that that would include things like salary and benefits, utilities, liability insurance, all the things that it takes to keep a district of this size going. There were other various amounts listed for actions or services or supplies, things like that, that are continuing elements of the current LCAP or new elements for our next LCAP. They all seemed very well laid out, and of course I'm looking for more detail, so I'm looking forward to the actual projected budget that will accompany the real LCAP when we get to have our public hearing. But one of the things I found particularly interesting was a statement that the budget information that was released wasn't going to reflect any of our grants or additional funding. The statements were, we know we're going to get it, but we just don't want to list it yet. That just didn't seem very transparent to me. If you are going to get money, it seems like you got to put it down. If you're not sure how much it is, maybe you could be conservative. Certainly you're going to have years worth of previous experience. You could at least list a conservative amount so that there was something there and everybody knew that there was money that was going to be coming on. The next thing that concerned me was during the discussions about the reading programs. It seemed to me that the board was very interested in reading programs and continuing reading programs at sites. And when the board asked questions about how reading programs were going to be continued at certain sites, the answer was that they will be paid out of a different funding source. It's not listed on your paperwork tonight. That was a real eye-opener for me. Where's the money that's not listed tonight? I thought the budget was supposed to go with the LCAP. So these are just some questions that I had about, what was going on. It was kind of troublesome. How can there be funding that's not, listed? Is the district reserving money in different funding sources? And what's the purpose of the LCAP and all of our processes that we've gone through so far? I've spent a lot of hours going over our current LCAP. I've looked at our district progress. I've looked at the plans for the future. I've attended many meetings, listened intently to the parents and the community members. I really wanted to hear what they felt was most important. What are they looking for in the program here in Lodi? Let's give the community what they think is most important. I really want and believe it's important for the whole process to be participatory and meaningful. But when there are comments about other funding sources, I question whether or not any of the committee work or comments will be taken seriously from the public, or were the meetings just a means to be able to say, well, we did that, let's move on. It's really concerning to me. Earlier tonight I gave you some comparative information regarding neighborhood school districts and how much more they are able to compensate their employees than Lodi Unified. The reason that we compare ourselves to other districts is because we are all here to provide public education programs and services to the children of our communities, whether it's Lodi or Stockton or Manteca or Sacramento or Redding or LA. We're all doing the same thing. We want to have the best education program that we can, provide as many services as possible for the students of our community. So through our interaction with the CSEA members, either up and down the state or especially in our neighboring districts, we often compare notes. You know, we talk about what's going on in your district, what's going on in our district. We talk about programs, we talk about services, we talk about our contracts, we talk about all kinds of things. But rarely, if ever, have I been able to be the one in the room to extol the virtues of what's going on in Lodi and have it be something that's out of the box. It seems like the programs that we're offering are great programs, but we don't seem to have anything that everybody else doesn't have. So this begs the question, if our programs are similar to the other districts and our services are similar to the other districts, how are the other districts able to pay their employees more? What is Lodi doing with that? So that was my prepared part. Now I'm going to go off the prepared part a little bit. And I just want to remind you that there are lots of employees here tonight. CSEA and the teachers tonight, we banded together. We said, let's have a little bit of fun before the school board meeting and let's get in here and make sure that everybody knows that we're committed, we're together, and we really think it's time for you to come to the negotiating table and do what's right. Give us our fair share.
Continue on with agenda. Comments from the board members. Mr. Heberly?
Good evening. First of all, I want to tell our student reps, thank you. You guys are awesome. It's not always easy when you're a young adult to figure out, where do you fit in the agency that you're now with. But you've done it well. You've represented your schools and you've represented yourselves very well. And I just wanted to tell you thank you, and I wish the best in your futures, and I bet they're going to be bright. So let us know sometime. Anyway, thank you again, and congratulations for all that you do.
Thank you.
And for the students, obviously, that weren't here that we did the recognitions for, those accomplishments are because of their hard work and the dedication of teachers and parents helping them and supporting them. And, a lot of times people say, well, what's the secret? Well, you know what? Work. They're working hard. And that's everybody involved, coaches, students, everybody. So when you see those, it just makes you proud that we have a good future growing up in our area. The next thing I want to comment on is something that I have heard, and I would like to bring it forward because I think it's very worthwhile. I wrote some of it down because I wanted to kind of organize my thoughts about the presentation I'm going to explain to you, so I will be kind of reading from time to time. I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club of Greater Lodi, and at a recent meeting, our guest speaker was the Lodi City Manager. His topic that day was about an agreement with one of the City of Lodi's bargaining groups. And he explained, obviously, when an agreement is reached and it goes public, a lot of times you'll get maybe positive comments and negative comments from the public. So he thought he would kind of do a preemptive strike and let people know, as our guest speaker, some of his perspectives. He explained that with an economic downturn, employees and the city still under the same contract. So that leaves you two things that you can do to try to solve the revenue shortfalls. One is layoffs, and the other is employee concessions. And we all know this all too well. In order to save jobs, the City of Lodi, as he was explaining, came forward and offered pretty significant concessions so that people would not lose their jobs and that they could try to keep services somewhat stable. So basically, you cut services or you have fewer employees, or both. And What that means is the employees that are left, they try to provide the same services with less pay. The city manager went on to tell us about the variety of work and the type of work that the employees of the city do. And it's obviously, just like here, a wide variety of work that the employees do. Another interesting point that he made was that agencies have capital resources. Let's say the city of Lodi, you've got parks, the library, you've got your infrastructure. And he went on to say that he views employees as capital resources because, as an agency, you invest so much in them and maintain them, and you do it looking long term. And the capital resources, he stated, capital resources without great employees are not worth much. He explained that during the financial downturn, the employees helped save the city of Lodi tens of millions of dollars. And that it's only right to acknowledge and appreciate their contributions. It really reinforced my outlook on how things should be. And I was so impressed by just the matter-of-fact way that he said, this is what I believe, this is the culture that we're trying to have in the city of Lodi, and it was really something to think about. And being impressed by the city manager's presentation, I believe that it was worthwhile to share that with all of you in this room. Thank you.
Ms. Gassel?
Lexi and Ryan, we will miss you so much. You both have been terrific. And I hope that now that we all know what great leaders you are and your schools have profited from that, so maybe you could promise me that you'll go on and continue in leadership, in governance, and elected office, perhaps even the sky's the limit, you know. So you have been just delightful. Your reports, and you can tell from us all year we've listened to your reports, it gives us a good sense for what's going on at Tokay, what's going on at Lodi High, and enlightens us. You do it in a very professional way. So I wish you all the best. You both are headed for wonderful universities, East Coast, West Coast. And you have all my best wishes. And yes, I certainly hope you come back and say hello, or at least send us an email or something to let us know how you're doing. And Lexi, I will say I'm an really old Aggie, so go Aggie. But I also know, Ryan, that Princeton is Ivy League the best too. So along with UC. Congratulations and thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to say there's a couple courses that we approved tonight in the consent agenda, and I was going to call them out during that time, but that would have taken too much time. So I just want to be very brief about this. We approved something called Foundations in Personal Finance course. This was, I hope I'm right about this, Ms. Kwiatkowski will tell me, developed by Tim Stutz, yes, at Liberty High. And is he here? Oh, he is, okay. We don't have the time to do this because it's already getting kind of late, but I was actually going to put the course objectives on all of our big screens because Foundations in Personal Finance, as I was looking at the course objectives, how I wish I would have taken that course when I was a teenager. I wish all of our kids could take such a course. So thank you, Tim, so much for stepping up and developing that course. There's another one. So we have, the next one has a great name. It's Seminar 101. And it was developed at McNair, and I do apologize. I don't know the name of the teacher that Jennifer Tillett and anybody from McNair help? Okay, well, thank you. And again, they're going to have every one of their 9th graders take this course. And it's encouraging the kids to develop career goals and objectives, kind of a slice of real life, and it's mandatory for their 9th graders. So I'm just wondering out loud if perhaps this course could be woven somehow into our other high schools. And McNair always has an advantage of the block schedule. But if there's a way somehow, because again, if we were to flash the course objectives up on that board, it's something that, again, I wish I would have had such a course when I was a teenager. And then finally, an introduction to technology class that was written by one of our, Charles Taylor, one of our instructional coaches. I'll just read you the one-liner, helping students be successful in using technology in their academic and career worlds. And I probably will just maybe sit in the back of that course because I could certainly profit from that even now. So just thank you so much for stepping up and doing that. And then I'm going to do kind of a risky thing here right now. Deborah, with your permission, no, Deborah, is it all right with you? Because and you were at the LCAP study session with all of us, of course, and I'm so glad you were there. But can I ask on your behalf for clarification about that other funding sources? Because that's intriguing, and I think do you mind? Dr. Washer?
Mr. Nava, I need to defer to you. This is not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda. That's correct, and we don't make any group employees.
There are, in generally speaking, other funding sources include federal funds, things that are not listed on there, you know, Title I, Title III, Title II, those kinds of funds could be considered other funds. So just generally speaking, without.
And sorry, I already overstepped, but I want to say, what popped into my head was we were going back and forth on this whole supplanting business, and I think that's how it came up. But thank you for reminding me. We really can't address it anyway. And then no, it's not on the agenda. So and I was incorrect in bringing it up. So that's how it has to be. And then thank you all. It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm sure you would much rather be in your homes preparing for the next day. Thank you. I was also going to make a comment about LCAP. We are building on year 1. It is a foundation now that's sitting there waiting for year 2. But I also want to acknowledge that, like everything else, our employees are the reason that it works so well. We had superb leadership in giving us the LCAP, which, remember, a year ago we were talking about how radical it was, and it was, and it still is, in terms of a funding source. But we have a firm foundation now with year 1 to build on our 3-year plan, year 2 and 3. So I do want to thank Dr. Washer and the cabinet for the leadership there, but all of you in this room and everybody else in the district, you had to make this huge radical transition, and you did. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Castle. Mr. Womack?
Yes, President Nava, thank you. Alexa and Ryan also, same thing. Appreciate it. I think sometimes as adults we talk amongst each other or we question each other about our opinions, and it's very, very important to hear what the children are saying, you know, at schools. So there's been a number of times this year where we deferred to you and said, what do you think on that? And I really took to heart what you had to say because it's from your perspective. So thank you for that. And as you talk to your replacement folks coming in, remind them that the board wants to hear that. We need to hear it. So thanks and congratulations on your great schools. I'd like to thank Mr. Hearn too and the staff on fiscal focus. You know, we get updates on the budget and other things that are going on. The CRT team appreciation, a number of things going on, and that's available to anybody, isn't that true? It's kind of general information.
Is it on our website?
Yeah, it is not currently.
It's currently sent to
The leadership team.
leadership team, and I believe that the union leadership also receives it.
Okay. I just think it's really informative, and I do appreciate it. And I know it was mentioned that it's a Teacher Appreciation Week, so thank you. And what wasn't mentioned is also in April, because it was the last, it's the first meeting of this month, is April 23rd was School Bus Driver Appreciation Day. So congratulations to the school bus drivers. I see them out and about all the time. I attended music in our schools at McNair. That was probably one of the highlights of the year. These elementary teachers take the kids from each school individually, and they teach them these songs, and then somehow it works. They all come together, and it sounds awesome. And it usually falls on my wife's birthday, so that's, you know, a little treat for her. She even said that she enjoys going to that. Thank you, Joe Sandoval. Joe's still here? Awesome, thank you, and thank you for the invitations. When there's some musical thing going on, I like to hear about that. Michael David Family Foundation, pretty much I think they had left, but I think we all know what they contribute to the community in general and to the school district. I enjoyed casino night, and it looked like we were going to raise a lot of money, so I'll be interested when we see what the actual numbers are, that, and then 100% of that goes to the schools. And I believe that might cover it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Womack. Very briefly.
Excuse me, don't forget Ron Freitas is on the phone.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Ron.
Still awake.
Ron.
Thank you, President Nava.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, you got the floor, sir.
Very good. I'll be brief because I am not there and I am telecommuting, but I would also like to thank our award winners, our honorees, our student reps for being absolutely outstanding, and for all the speakers here tonight. Their comments were all very valuable and were very much appreciated. Casino night, like was mentioned before, Lynn, Valerie, and Ken, you agree, were absolutely outstanding, and it just was a spectacular event. Teleconferencing, after the meeting schedule was made, they had an unfortunate cancellation for the district attorney's office faculty and for the seminar, homicide seminar, and they asked me to fill it. And I can't thank everyone enough for allowing me to attend and making my participation available by the teleconference. Actually, I've been watching you all on live stream. You guys look marvelous, and the live stream Dale works absolutely spectacular. So it feels like I'm actually there. And last but not least, everyone, I'd like to wish them a happy 5th de Mayo.
All right, Ron, what's the score on the Giants?
I have no idea.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Just very briefly, and I know that there's some people here that taught in another district, and I taught in another district, and I was always that the Lodi Unified was up on top. And I just hard for me to grasp all these comments that, you know, you got people moving and so forth. And I think that eventually that we will come back as far as compensation and all the other good things that happen. I know we have some great teachers here. I have my grandchildren on all the schools here, so I know, because I've asked about them as a matter of fact. And again, coming from another district and running for the board, I live in North Stockton, and I'm familiar with the Stockton schools more so than I was with Lodi, but for the last 7 years I've been in the Lodi Unified School Board, and my gosh, I've always taught that this district was one of the most respected, and people in the other school districts thought highly of. Okay, so let's hopefully that we can continue compensation-wise and whatever it takes to keep our teachers here and make them satisfied, so the morale is high, so you people can just get back to the basics of teaching our students. All right, Tonight we have some reports continuing on with the agenda. Placement of students in non-public schools. Ms. Vedeka. We'll give you a minute, Ms. Vedeka, so we can...
Good evening, President Nava and members of the board. Tonight we have Bill Saunders here, our CELPIC director, and Kathy Vasquez, the coordinator of psychological services, and they're going to go through our students that end up in non-public schools, some of the safeguards we use to protect our teachers in our schools for some of the violent students that we have that end up in non-public schools or have needs that we just can't meet. You will hear about all the things that they do before a student ever ends up in non-public school. And I will turn it over to Kathy.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting us. I find this a great opportunity to tell the board about a small population within special education, but a very significant population. The first slide that we have is what the California Department of Education, how they define what a non-public school is. And it is a school that is recognized by the California Department of Education and meeting students' individual needs in special education. The next one is, what is the reason for us sending a student to a non-public school? We have students who go to non-public schools and they qualify for special education in a variety of different areas. But most of them, they have severe behaviors that can be a safety concern for themselves and or for others. And but our students vary in the fact that some have significant mental health issues. Some are lower cognitively. Some are autistic. We have students in all realms, deaf, blind, but the one common trait they have is they have significant behaviors, but that doesn't mean that one program will fit for all of them because of their different needs and how to approach and to work with students who need to go to non-public school. Some of the major things that we have our schools go through, as well as the district has set up and provided in order to meet students' needs behaviorally. We've done a number of trainings on behavior interventions and data collection with school personnel, and that's always very important because we want to see what behavior we're targeting and how different interventions are working or not working, or how do we need to change that. Excuse me, we have intense reviews of behavior interventions are conducted at school sites. We look at school sites and how personnel within the school site, how they can support that student, as well as that classroom or that area. If a school site has exhausted, they feel all their resources on campus, they talk to a number of us that are special ed administrators, and we talk about the data they collected and the other options that we might have within the district, as well as maybe options that we can go out and support that student at that school site. Because as you know, in the law, it talks about least restricted environment, and we try to keep them as much in a least restricted environment that's appropriate. We have also offered intensive intervention classes for our students, and we have that kindergarten through high school. We also have structured autism classes for our students. And they're not just necessarily for autistic students, but students who need that type of environment, that type of structure. And those are offered preschool through adults. So in those classes, we may not just have, like I said, autistic students. We have students whose needs meet that kind of structure within the classroom.
In 2010, when Walter Katnick School was opened, now that supports our students who are in a special day class that may need that smaller environment. Before it was created, if a student was having significant behaviors and they couldn't expel them, because the one program does not take our special day class. They don't have the supports, nor do we have the supports. So they would move around from, if they were high school, or from high school to high school. And we actually had a couple of students who started at Katnick that had made the circuit of all of our high schools, our main high schools, and then started back again. When we got them out to Katnick, that was a time that we could really focus on behavior because it's a smaller environment, smaller classes. And then Turner, on top of that, is a type of school that we have for kindergarten through 8th grade that that some of our students that are transitioning back from non-public school, it gives them a step away to get them prepared to go into a more or less restricted environment. And some of our kids who need a more restricted environment, but hopefully we can keep them within the school district, that we can have them go to Turner and hopefully work on those behaviors. And if they stay till 8th grade, then you know, many of our students who graduate out of Turner Academy after 8th grade go into our intensive intervention classes located at 2 of our high schools. This is just a chart that to kind of show you the number of students that we have that are referred to a non-public school. Many of our students who are referred to a non-public school, some of them have gone through our you know, through the different areas of our school district, but many kids also transfer in. We have group homes within our school district, and those students come in with IEPs that already have a non-public school. So in May of 2007, at the end of the school year, we had 90, at that point, 90 NPS students. But during the year, we processed over 130. And I didn't have the number of special education students at the end in May of that year. But as you can see, excuse me, on the far right, you can see how our special ed numbers have gone up overall, but our NPS numbers have either stayed the same or have dropped in the last couple of years. But I think it's really important too to look at the number of different students we have processed. Some of you have been on the board for a while, and some names may have come up 2 or 3 times in a school year. That is one student who's been processed. But they may have to move from a group home that's in our district, and then they go out of our district, and then they come back in. But that's still one student. But we process quite a few special ed students who come in and out. But as you can see, within the last couple of years, we have had less students referred to a non-public school, even though our NPS but our special ed numbers have increased. So when I was looking at cost, on July 22nd, it was sent to the board our projected amount of funds that we would have for students. And we do it individually of students and the needs they have in the different schools that we think are most appropriate for them. And some of them also have speech or occupational therapy or whatever other related service. So they range from just about $30,000 a year to our highest one was $83,000 at that time. When we look at Turner, it's generally about $20,000 per student per year. However, the school doesn't reflect all the students that are NPS can go to Turner. In 2013-14, while we encumbered almost 3.7, we actually used 2.5. So that's in a nutshell very quickly, but do you have any questions that I can?
Questions from the board?
Yes.
Talking?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
My question is, what precludes us from, instead of placing all of the students, perhaps a large portion of the students, developing programs here in Lodi for them?
Yes, And that's a very good question, and we have always been working on, can we provide a type of program for a certain population, and that's how Turner was actually created.
And I do want to say Turner Academy has grown by 12 students this year, so we're continuing to grow. We started very small there because it's centered around behavior. We want to make sure we are able to handle the students that were out there. And since Turner Academy moved out to Tokay Colony, it's an even larger site, so we'll be able to accommodate more students. We have to make sure we have the trained staff and the facilities for the students that need to go there. So we are increasing our own capacity.
Right. What I look at as a board member is in 2013-14, we have 107 students, and we spent $2.5 million on them. And I'm wondering whether in public or in private schools, I'm wondering if there is a way to utilize that money that would be able to allow us to expand programs on campus, whether it's Tokay Colony or one of the other ones, and be able to save the district money and provide the same service. I realize there are some situations where the student has to live in a campus.
I understand what you're saying, and I would say that some of our NPSs that we access, some we don't access for years. Some we only have 1 or 2 students because that is the need they have. Some of them have some significant needs that we really couldn't provide a program that would be cost effective. But you're right, we're always looking at what is our population and can we serve our population as close to home as possible. And we are working towards making the old Turner school site, not Turner Academy, but Turner school site, to actually work with a non-public school that would actually give us a reduced rate if we had students attend there. The good part to that would be that our students would be closer to home and they wouldn't have to be bused, because many of our students, if they do go to an MPS, some are local, but some are all the way in Sacramento. And so we want to serve them as close to home as possible.
Any other questions? Mr. Woolman?
Yeah, if you go back to slide 2, please. One of the things that always had me scratching my head when I read these non-public placements, not just the amount of money we're talking about, but a lot of these get transferred in from some probation department from some other county or something. But right down here it says on the Ed code, it says at the bottom, the tuition of a student in NPS is paid by the local education agency that places the student in the NPS based on the student's individual needs. We place them there, but in reality we don't place them there. They're placed there for us. Is there any recourse to recover from the placing county or anything, or is that even been looked at? Because they kind of just get dumped on us. I'll be just real frank about it. And it's thousands upon thousands of dollars. So have we looked at that issue as far as something we have no control over, or apparently have no control over?
It depends on where the person who has ed rights for that student, or where the student lays their head. You're right, sometimes CPS says, we're going to place a student at this non-public, school because we're paying for the residential, and because we've had parents or surrogates that live in our district, they become our student. Even if we did not refer them, but they are our student.
But some of these are getting moved by a probation department or something, and they're getting moved, and they say, we're going to move you over here. Well, it happens to fall in our district. We've now inherited 100% of that cost.
Right.
There's a flaw in that.
And we wouldn't argue with that. And we also have, like I said, group homes, and group homes that are in our attendance area, as well as San Joaquin County and other, like other SELPA areas. And when they move those students, they also move the responsibility of who is to pay for that MPS.
What else happens with all students with an IEP is when they move from one district to the next, you need to put them in a comparable placement from where they came from. And then you have a 45-day timeline to do an administrative transfer. So they automatically get the placement that they were in, and then the IEP team does further assessments to see if that's appropriate placement. And we have had students that may come to us and land and it be in a non-public school, and once an assessment is done, we move them out to our II classes. So that's part of the law too, is that they have to have the same placement they were in when they came to us.
I'm not arguing the placement, arguing the cost. And it's similar to me, an analogy would be another state program that's unfunded that we have to do. And so you have a probation department from Alameda County says we're going to move this person and they put them over here and now we pay 100% of that cost. That's a flaw. I'm not blaming anybody on this. It's just something, every time I read that I go like, why is this happening?
Same thing
taxpayers here are paying a lot of money for this and no control over it. It's almost taxation without representation.
It's like our group homes too, because we get a lot of students in and out of the group homes, and they're usually from another county. So,
and when they reside within our attendance boundaries, for the most part,
they become ours.
We inherit.
I just want to register my angst.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
To kind of piggyback on what Ralph was saying is, when I first got on the board and we were going through these, I kept going, there's something missing. This is just, I mean, somebody from another county is going, oh, by the way, you're going to take this student. Well, wait a minute, they don't even live here. And I kept thinking, I'm missing something. Well, I guess it was logic. You know, and it's obviously well beyond our place to take care of it.
Any other question? I want to thank you, Kathy, and
Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Sorry. We're each a middle block here, and Don for the report. Thank you very much. Okay, continuing on with the agenda, we have proposed board policy revisions.
Mr. Nava, members of the board, this is your first glance at some of the policies that we've been working on to revise based on technical issues, new laws, those kinds of updates. They will come back to you for approval at another agenda. This is kind of the first glance. If you have any questions of staff, you certainly can call us later if you have questions. It is not here for your approval. That comes later.
I do have a question.
Okay, let us know which one, and so we get the right person to answer.
Okay. I noticed several of them were just basically referring to LCAP because it's a new thing, and so I get that that's why that was brought up. Okay, let's go. There was one on use of school facilities. And, you know, obviously some of these revisions are because of law changes and so on and so forth. Some of them are just old and they need to be revamped. Let's see here. It's, policy 1330, use of school facilities. It's talking about a comprehensive schedule of fees. Do we have one of those?
Yes, there is an existing one.
Oh, okay.
And bringing it forward, it can certainly be revised when we look at this particular one.
Okay. The reason this one kind of jumped out at me is because over the end of last week, I was notified of a potential problem, and that was that the one of the schools who historically has their sober grad all-night grad party at the high school, we're told that yeah, you can use the facility, but we're going to the student accounts are going to have to pay rent on the gym and cafeteria, and which they've never had to pay before. All they've had to pay for is security and custodial for cleanup and those kinds of things. But the school felt, apparently, previously, that it was a school function, so we're going to help the kids for sober grad because that's an important thing. And initially they were told this year that, no, you're going to have to pay for rent of the building. Was that a misinterpretation? Is this, I didn't read that into this, but sometimes you have unintended consequences. Is this an unintended consequence, or is this something new that we're changing this year?
I will have to look into that.
Okay, perfect. Well, you know, that's why I looked at this one and I didn't see anything like that, but sometimes when it's not as clear as what you're looking for, I want to make sure, because I'm sorry, Sober Grad Night is imperative that we support. If we've got the National Transportation Safety Board kicking in money and CHP kicking in money to keep our children safe, these are our children, we need to also take care of them. And it doesn't cost us anything, they're paying for their things. So I just want to make sure that that's being taken care of for school facilities. Anyway, yeah, it takes a long time to go through these.
Yeah, it does. It does. Can I just add on though, but it's very helpful because you can find the lineouts and the,
Yes.
I mean, it's structured well, so at least you can kind of focus in on the change.
Let us know if you look at them later if you have any questions.
Okay, that's homework.
Yes, it is.
One question, Ms. Castle has a question.
I think this one's easy. The tobacco-free schools, it looks like that's brand new, and so we are, it sounds like we're going like all encompassing tobacco-free schools. It's 3513.
No, that's not new.
That's not new.
Oh, no,
that's not
no.
No, I mean, when you click on it, there's nothing on it. I think it's just another policy. But let's see.
The requirements to be that way aren't new.
No, it's not adopted at any date. It doesn't have a date when it was
Policy
adopted.
adopted, no.
It may have been pulled out from another policy as a
Oh.
separate entity.
Oh, it's
So yes, you're right.
oh,
So
okay.
yes, to answer your question, yes.
Okay,
It
but
could
it's
be
not
that, but
new.
the
So-
requirement to be
Yeah.
tobacco-free is not new.
Okay,
So-
and then the other one, and this is just it's where is it? It doesn't matter. It sounds like it's the one where now, even if like the kids can't sell candy bars anymore. Is that yeah? And that wow, that's how we've bought so many things. but that can't happen. That can't happen.
Yeah, that would violate federal
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah. So.
There are ways to do it, but it basically you cannot sell during school
not-
operational
Last
times.
time was the best time.
Yeah, I know, but yes.
So let us know what those ways are.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know, we had the soda machines, the
Yeah.
clubs did their
Yes,
fundraising,
yes.
and it was great. They would have International Food Day and
We used to
and
have
clubs would-
cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Cinnamon rolls.
And
Yes.
basically, who lost in that
Hot
are the
dogs.
students.
So hot dogs.
The students can't fund their activities anymore.
All right, any other questions on board policies? If not, we have a board discussion. Board discussion of current Lodi Unified Homework Policy. If the board doesn't mind, I'd like to table this to the next meeting because Mr. Neely is not here and he's the one that is concerned about this.
Amen.
Okay, we'll table that. All right, we continue on. We go with Board Advisory Committee reports. Yes, sir. Mr. Everly.
Let's see, on April 28th, we had a 2x2 meeting with the Lodi City Council and Lodi Unified School District. And there were several things that were talked about. The bike race that's coming through Lodi on May 11th and how that would affect some of our schools and so forth. And trying to work that out so that it's not such a logjam around the schools. So we had that discussion. There was also another discussion about hopefully moving the Great Bowl upgrades forward, and that some people were possibly identified, private entities or agencies, that would kind of help. And again, we repeated that the needs of City of Lodi and the needs of Lodi Unified and other groups we need to improve it with those groups' input, so that we have a product that everybody can use for their specific needs. So it was a pretty nice conversation. Probably the main one came about was the Lodi track joint use, and also how can we make this accessible, and how we can then secure it. And as we talked about in the last school board meeting, is that we're doing it that it is open, and that when the custodial staff Monday through Friday finish up their day, they secure the school, secure the track, and then go home. Well, the question was, well, what do we do on the weekends? And it was totally a can-do attitude. The city manager and the director of Parks and Recreation both said that they've got part-time people that go around and kind of secure the parks at sunset, and that they would be very much willing to secure the gates at Lodi High. And so that would be open then, public availability during the day, and then somebody would actually be able to secure it at night. And they were going to, district staff and city staff would kind of work out the fine details. But one of the comments that I thought was just wonderful to hear from a City of Lodi staff member was, the public benefit outweighs the cost. And I thought, hello, how nice, and it was sure, sounds like something we could do, we'll help, and it sounds like it would be great for the public, so we're in. And that kind of working together between the agencies was really enjoyable. And George and I both, George Neely and I were on that committee, and we both went away from there going, wow, that worked well. So I just wanted to report that was a very positive meeting that we went to.
Good. Thank you, Ron. Thank you for your report. Future agenda items. Any board member has any future agenda items?
Yeah, it's Ron's night. When we approved some of the courses, there were a couple of math courses, and we just are ending the first year of our math. The word just left my head.
Pathways?
Pardon me?
Pathways?
Math pathways, sure. And when we adopted, math adoption, that's what I was thinking. Thank you. And so I would like to have an update on how the courses are going, how the pathways are going, because that was kind of one of my big things, is to make sure that we have pathways for different levels of need for our students, so that we're talking about math success, not continual failure. So that's kind of thing, and make sure that the teachers have the instructional materials, because when we adopted it, with Math 1, 2, 3, Math 3 didn't even exist. So does it now? That's kind of what I'm looking for. How are we doing? I think it'd probably be nice that some of the committee members that worked on that, maybe because they were in the classroom, teachers, maybe their perspective would be kind of nice to hear also. So that's kind of something I'd like to hear about in the future, so that we know things are progressing smoothly in math.
Thank you, Mr. Everly. Anybody else? Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Move. Mr. Talker move to adjourn. Second by Mr. Womack. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Last vote, huh?
Yeah. Good night, Mr. Freitas. Take care.
Yeah. Ron.
Thanks so much. Have a great evening.
We'll see you. Okay. Good night.
It's a coordinator for discipline issues, safety issues, those kinds of things. But not just
you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. You need help, hang up.
No, I didn't. My daughter.